Gets in touch when he feels blue, asks me what's new, we'll exchange texts, even fight, send kisses late at night, 'cause he's my Tamagotchi boyfriend. It's like he's really there, he's my Tamagotchi boyfriend, and I have to show I care. Every day in some new way, I make sure that I say, hey, it's okay if no reply, I'll just forbear and sigh, 'cause he's my Tamagotchi boyfriend. It's like he's still there, he's my Tamagotchi boyfriend, but I have to show I care. Even though he's miles away, I still miss him most days. While I'm alone, now he lives in my phone, 'cause he's my Tamagotchi boyfriend. It's like he's really there, he's my Tamagotchi boyfriend, and I'm sure that he still cares. His disembodied state is best not to cogitate. I know he's really in the world, living large and bold, but I prefer my Tamagotchi boyfriend. It's like he's really there, he's my Tamagotchi boyfriend, and I have to show I care. Now he's in my phone, he's under my control. I can choose what I will say, how I'll paint my day. I can pick the things I tell, I'll always say I'm well, I'll pretend I'm always flying. He'll never know I'm lying, 'cause he's my Tamagotchi boyfriend. It's nice that he's not there, he's my Tamagotchi boyfriend, but I have to show I care. I always try to raise his mood, it's a lot like giving food, even though it can be trying. I can't have his ego dying, 'cause he's my Tamagotchi boyfriend. But it's great that he's not there, he's my Tamagotchi boyfriend, and I have to show I care, show I care. I kind of feel like maybe I should skip ahead in the poems and give some context to that. I had a sequence. Oh, the stress of breaking the sequence. We'll get to the poems about him later. Okay. Yeah, I haven't performed in a while. Yeah, things going on, and yeah, but it's lovely to see you all. And this is a poem about, well, all the different aspects of me, really. It's called Personhood. So I have Asperger's. It's like autism light. A little bit pretentious, an accidental slight. I'm not sure if I'm transgender or just always wear men's clothes, but it's not a political statement. They're just always what I've chose. I also find women attractive, but I don't think that makes me gay. It could be that I am. I might get swept off my feet one day. I seek definition if it's useful, if it's a helpful classification, bringing understanding, alleviation of frustration. Otherwise, labels get annoying. They just get in the way, restrict your view of personhood, give you feet of clay. Because we all have labels, daughter, sister, partner, friend, the fashions that we follow, the politics that we defend. The fashions that we follow, the race into which we're born, that none should be strictly defining or be the cause of scorn. Because whatever your religion or your gender or your health, irrespective of racial origin or your religion or of wealth, of primary importance is your personhood, your freedom to be free. To say beneath these labels, essentially, I'm me. I was a very daydreamy child, and this one's called The Magic of Childhood. When I was a child, I made a flute to summon fairies, because pixies and sprites dwelt in every tree stump. Bathed in collected pools of water and tree roots, magic was behind each rustling leaf, and the trees whispered to each other. There are still hidden spaces, still points of quiet where magic stirs, gently with the rising breath of wind gusting through the seasons. Another luminosity of being, which isn't just the light, but the essence of the place itself, touching you, reaching past your eyes to caress your heart and remind you of when you made a flute to summon mystical beings. And this is my meta-analysis of the collected works of the Brothers Grimm. It's called What I Learned from the Brothers Grimm. Yeah, I read them all and then thought for a while and wrote this. If someone asks you to kill them, do it. The effects will be profound. Third sons will succeed where others fail. Innocence is not the same as stupidity. Princes are capricious, forgetful, and stupid. Mothers and princesses are untrustworthy. A pretty face and a pretty dress will secure a royal marriage. And women are either lovely victims or evil, lazy shrews. Brazen audacity is the key to your goals. Greed will lead to failure, while helpfulness and friendship to eventual success. Beauty causes vindictiveness, but trusting animals is always the right thing. The animals don't lie. Um, 18 months ago, I helped a friend with a rat that had escaped. It was the most pedigree rat I'd ever seen in my life. But it bit me and it almost killed me. I got a really rare blood infection and and an episode of House later of them diagnosing me with everything and me being like, it's going to be lupus tomorrow, isn't it? And they eventually figured out what it was and gave me the treatment. And I wrote this. Because, I was in hospital for like a month, just plugged into machines. It's called Morphine, Antibiotics, Tea and Jaffa Cakes. Blazing noises cacophonous, dazzling pain symphonic, all body parts participating, thoughts diaphanous, spread thin upon fever as I drift in bright sound. Monitors play the music of our distress, technology writing its own techno as our stats change. A tidal drift of tea trolleys shape my day, a benignly British belief that this will result in wellness. Morphine, antibiotics and tea, a classic combo. In this delusional state, I disconnect and tap into the dream state of all the delirious healers. My father, as he recovered, post-operatively sailing a zombie vessel out of New Orleans that became the Wharf, stabbed by Nazi Russian ghosts. I drift, anchored by the recurring vision of the siren tea trolley and the morphine, bringing me back to Blighty and the romantic era of poetry. Reality, pain and Jaffa Cakes, but soon I drift again. My pain enveloping me in a timeless bubble, wherein I remember my father's dreams. He went to China in his hospital bed, was so pleased we journeyed out to visit him. Even I went. Now I, like him, am linked with tubes to machines in Geiger-esque facsimiles of futuristic cybernetics, man and machine feeding off each other. I have a permanent implant in my hand, various veins tapped for convenience. I've become a living Pompidou centre, all my plumbing on the outside. My consciousness alone still trapped within. I care not, for my mind is free. I can live forever on antibiotics, morphine, tea, and Jaffa cakes. Returning to the original theme, this one's called Total Reject. I'm upset, but I feel that I've been told that I'm all wrong, that my version of being feminine is just too fucking strong. My hips don't sway enough to sashay when I walk. My work is too manly. I swear loudly when I talk. My height is too great and my hair too fucking punk. He wants me more demure? I say bring on the funk. I'm too strong and muscular. I emasculate a guy, but then if I get ill or sad, it's a downer if I sigh. He doesn't like my strength, so it's a further irony that he's seemingly not okay with vulnerability. So long as it's all light and fun and I am well and fit, then all the rest can be ignored and questioned for a bit. But if I have a migraine or I dare to take a pill, then this is seen as evidence of weakness of the will. As if I want some migraine or a trauma from my past. As though it's not worse for me than a mild pain in his ass. But to imply that I choose victimhood really makes me want to swear. To nail him to the floor, then slowly torture him with flair. I'm neither to complain, nor to be bravely insincere. So spontaneous recovery is the only path left clear. But then I stop and ponder how, despite all the above, I still would say that we are quite deeply in love. It can't be just the sex, although I can't deny that's great, but it's not quite all I look for in a partner or a mate. He's no Adonis, not my physical ideal, but I can't deny the way that being with him has made me feel. It's possible he's blinded by who he hopes I'll one day be when I step from my neurosis into self-actuality. And despite all his comments, he will occasionally say the universe is enriched by the inclusion of me. He insists, although annoying, I'm not required to change, but to feel both loved and judged is really rather strange. However, if it's true that despite all of my faults, that he's chosen, that he loves me, thinks I make a nice gestalt, and he can, when he wants to, be a really sweet, nice guy that's opened up my heart and made me vulnerable and cry. But then I stop and think, well, with all that judgmental shit, I might just be better off being single for a bit. But maybe with some humour I could find a middle way, a mature and measured practice to enable me to stay. Because he can be kind and loving, supportive, patient, keen and strong, so long as it's in private and it doesn't take too long. He's given the gift of fearlessness and shone a light into my life, and although it's brought in equal measure a fair amount of strife, but on the whole I still would say there's been more good than bad, and he's more bombastic fool than incorrigible cad. So I could grin and bear it without becoming a Stepford wife. But I think I'll just be grateful when I've got him out of my life.
Yeah, I do. Yes, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How am I doing for time?
You've got about 7 minutes.
Oh, okay, great. Okay. I'm going to do a slightly depressing one, trigger warnings for me realising how horrendous my family are and how that had set me up for having horrendous boyfriends. Okay, that's trigger warning. And also ruining the poem, but it's a good poem, it'll ride the, okay. I thought I came from an ordinary family. I thought I was normal, from a family of ordinary people. Ordinary is what you're used to, and I was used to them. Used to being used and abused, tiptoeing around minefields in eggshell shoes. I thought it was normal, ordinary. As I grew, I met families of people I knew, marvelled as they hugged each other, kissing when they met, parting with sweet sorrow and genuine regret. I thought them odd, like I'd stepped into a story of dragons and heroes like they told on Jackanory, because that's not what real families are like. Warm and supportive, kind to the grieving, caring and sharing, not belittling and deceiving. They must be lying, I thought. It's a mask, a disguise. Underneath it's all rotten. This must all be lies. I didn't trust it. It wasn't normal. They weren't ordinary people like me, so I found comfort in those where the truth's plain to see. If someone's nice to you, it's time to raise a brow because they want something from you. The only question left is how. But if someone is aloof and will question all you do, pouring scorn from high upon it, this is someone like you knew. This is usual, this is normal, and you know how to behave, how to slip between the bear traps and the broken glass they've laid, and you feel at home and special and as though you're being seen because it's normal feeling bruised when love is shown by being mean. And you have a job here. You're the one who understands. You can see them through the anger, you can take them by the hand, you can help them feel their feelings, you can see how they can grow if they'll stop being so destructive towards everyone they know. But that's not their ambition. They don't really want to change. It's more fun to manipulate, to gaslight and estrange others from themselves and their sense of reality, from belief in themselves and of basic humanity, until it feels normal, acceptable, ordinary. And it is ordinary and acceptable if this is all you ever knew and you were raised to believe that all the insults were true. This is how abusers help each other even if they never meet, by making torture seem normal, which at first seems quite a feat until you think of all the people, maybe living on your street, who seem to cringe, tiptoeing past in eggshell shoes on frightened feet. Abusers help each other. They look after their own by making abuse comforting, by reminding you of home. Okay, so now after sucker punching you, I'll do a kind of silly one, which is actually about my greatest fear. I'm terrified of sharks. Jaws is, I think, to blame. I only need to think of them, merely speak their name, and I feel the terror rise suddenly as from the depths, with jagged jaws that grasp me and a speed that takes my breath. No matter that I'm far inland or standing on the street, no water within my sight, the ground beneath my feet. In my mind, they are a nightmare, terrible and impotent, ravagers of all, mysterious and ancient. They can appear out of the ether, they can hide under your bed, erupt from out the toilet, fly through shadows overhead. They can be there in the swimming pool despite the strong chlorine, and to stop that, they're invisible, so swimming there unseen. Every time I enter water, I have to face this fear. Be it swimming pool or bathtub, I feel my dread will draw them near. I have lain awake at night, listening for the steady beat of a great white slowly flopping with dreadful tension up the street. I desperately convinced myself that if this were the case, then being in my element, I could kick it in the face. I comfort and cajole myself that if I meet a shark flopping in pursuit of me whilst out late after dark, then as I am a land creature and it is of the sea, then I can poke its eyes out and it will not eat me. And yet I'm deathly certain that in the sea they'd find their mark and my fate would loom upon me suddenly and brutally from the depths and toothily, fatally, inescapably. A fucking shark will chew on me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Crake. I used to have a recurring nightmare about a beanbag shark hybrid when I was a kid. Where that came from, I have no idea. But yes, big hands for Crake.